Hey guys, welcome back to HMHT. My name is Ben, your host of course, and finally we have watchOS 7.4, and the update we're talking about today is release candidate. So just a heads up, since I like you, I'm gonna let you know in advance to brace yourself because this update is packed and it has a lot of new features and changes that it brings about. So with that in mind, let's dive right in. So the update size, as you can see here for me on my Apple Watch Series 6, it came in at around 122 megabytes, and I'm updating from watchOS 7.4 beta 8. If you're going to be updating to this RC version from a different version, then your update size is going to be slightly bigger. And if we go to the about this watch section, we just want to see the new build number that came with this watchOS update. And as you can see there, we have a new build number and it's 18T195. It has no letter at the end, depicting that this could be final since this is the release candidate version if there's no need for an RC2. So when it comes to new features and changes, this is the first thing that you're going to notice with watchOS 7.4. So the update time, you're going to notice that it's now being reduced. For me, I'm experiencing better update times, and you find that the time it takes for the watch to reboot once you've installed an update is actually also reduced. However, the preparation time seems to be more or less the same, but yes, it is downloading and updating better, which is a plus in this aspect. Then the second thing that I want to talk about, it's a significant change that came with watchOS 7.4 and iOS, the latest iOS 14.5 version that we have. So on your iPhone, if you go into settings and then you want to go to where it says passcode and Face ID, which is right there, and then input your passcode just like that, and scroll down to where you see unlock with Apple Watch. So finally, with watchOS 7.4, you can unlock your iPhone using your Apple Watch while you're wearing a face mask. So as you can see here, this is what it says: use the secure connection to your Apple Watch to unlock iPhone when a face mask prevents Face ID from recognizing your face. Your watch must be nearby, on your wrist, unlocked, protected by a passcode. So those are the three things that we need to do on our Apple Watch. First, it needs to be on our wrist like it is right now, and then it needs to be unlocked and protected by a passcode. So this is what you want to do in order to enable this on the Apple Watch. So if you go into the settings on the Apple Watch and then you go to where it says passcode, so right there, if you select passcode, you need to turn on simple passcodes. For me, as you can see, I have the option to turn off passcode, which means it's on. If you see for you it says passcode on, then you need to click on it and make sure you have a passcode enabled. So make sure you have that, and also you want to enable simple passcode. It can be a 4-digit pin, it doesn't have to be complex. So simple passcode just means that it will be a 4-digit pin. And what you want to do is also turn on risk detection. So once you've done that, let me go ahead and show you that I'll be putting on my face mask. So let me do this. And as you can see, this is me right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my face mask. So let me just do it quick. So as you can see, I now have a face mask on and my voice has changed. So let me go ahead and lock my iPhone like this. And once I've locked my iPhone, look what happens when I try to unlock. It says iPhone unlocked by this Apple Watch. So it's good and it actually works. So it's very easy to do. If you want more information and step-by-step guidance, I've done a whole video that explains this. And this is the most significant feature for me that came to watchOS 7.4, and it makes it so easy. But you just need to keep in mind that you need an Apple Watch Series 3 or later. I believe the Series 3 is still being sold by Apple, so you can still get the the cheapest Apple Watch available, the Series 3. It supports this, and you need an iPhone X or newer. An iPhone obviously that has Face ID, since for iPhones that have a fingerprint, you don't actually, wearing a face mask won't prevent you from unlocking your phone. So you need an iPhone X or newer, and an Apple Watch Series 3 with watchOS 7.4 and newer. And you need to make sure your iPhone is updated to iOS 14.5, which is the latest available update at the moment. So that's the most important thing to know, and that came with watchOS 7.4. But anyways, new features and changes still continue with watchOS 7.4. And the next thing that I want to talk about with this update has to do with Siri. Now you can call emergency services by just prompting Siri. So you can use the phrase, but for this case, so that I don't provoke or activate your watches or your Apple devices, I'll just press here and say call emergency services. You notice it starts a timer, so we don't want to go ahead and call. Yeah, so it says, okay, I won't do it, but we don't want to go ahead and call emergency services, because even if it's a fake call, they will come, 911 will come just in case. So now with Siri, you can actually call emergency services with watchOS 7.4, and watchOS 7.3, that was not possible. On your iPhone, which actually has iOS 14.5, if you go into the settings and go to where it says Siri and search, right there, and select where it says Siri voice. So if you select Siri voice, you notice that we have more Siri voices right here. Before this, what you see here is voice 1, voice 2, voice 3, and voice 4 used to actually be called male and female. So we only had 2 categories, but as you can see here, we have more voices that were added, and it's good. So what I noticed with this update on the Apple Watch on Siri, if you select like voice 1, let's select it just to know how it sounds.
I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
So that's voice 1, and then this.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Okay, voice 2, voice 3.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
And then voice 4.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Yeah, so that's how the voices are. So for example, if we select voice
Hi,
1.
I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
And then activate Siri on the Apple Watch. So what's the time today?
It's 18:39.
Okay, so you can see the time and you heard the voice, the type of voice that we have. And if we select, for example, voice 4.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
And then go to the Apple Watch and do the same command. What's the time?
It's 18:39.
So you can see that the Siri on the Apple Watch will take the same voice that you have selected on the iPhone. I'm not sure if you can do the same changes here if you go into settings and go to Siri right here. So if you select Siri and go all the way down to where you see Siri voices, so you can see the different voices that we have, American, Australian, and if you go down, you will see the same layout for the number of voices that we had on the iPhone. So you can see how similar they look here, voice 1, voice 2, voice 3. Keep in mind that if you select, for example, South Africa like this, you will notice that the voices change. So we just have 2 voices, and it's the same on the
I'm
iPhone.
Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Okay, so as you can see, for South Africa, we only have 2 voices, but for
Hi,
America,
I'm Siri. Choose the voice
it's
you'd like me to
it's
use.
actually a little bit too loud. But yeah, I was just illustrating that on the Apple Watch, you can actually do the same changes when it comes to settings and Siri, and you go to where it says Siri voice. You just gotta choose the one that you want, and it's good that Siri no longer sounds like just some robot or some OS speaking to you. It sounds more natural to me in this aspect. Now, another thing that I want to demonstrate to you when it comes to watchOS 7.4 has to do with the Watch app here. So when you open your Watch app and go to the gallery that you see here, you will notice that this face gallery icon has been updated. We now have a more bold icon, and it has a check mark that is sort of isolated from the background. So this icon here that you are seeing has been updated, and it's different from what we had on watchOS 7.3. Another thing that I would like to illustrate has to do with face transitions or changes when it comes to watchOS 7.4. So as you can see here, my face transitions are actually smooth, unlike before. If we select this one, let's try, you see how fast it is and how responsive it is. With watchOS 7.3, I know there was a little bit of a delay when it came to this, so you can see how good this is. And if we select this watch with emoji, you can see how quick it takes and how fast it responds to touches and commands, which is good. And another new thing that has been made official with watchOS 7.4 has to do with app privacy practices and transparency when it comes to developers and to applications. So if different applications or softwares want to track you across different devices or different websites and softwares, they have to actually request for your permission in order to do that with watchOS 7.4 and with iOS 14.5. So apps that do not comply, I believe they have a limit, and then if that limit expires and they have not updated, then they will be removed from the App Store. So this overall leads to better security and privacy when it comes to watchOS 7.4 and iOS 14.5. Now, also when it comes to payments, if you use the Apple Watch for payments, if you had like different cards that were not supported with watchOS 7.3, I know they've added some cards like Golden and so on. So if you have a card that wasn't supported by the wallet app on the Apple Watch and you wouldn't be able to make payments, that has also been added. So make sure you check it out. You could find that now with watchOS 7.4, it works since the range or the variety has been sort of increased with the updates. Now, if you have the harness watch face, it has been updated with richer colors and the calibration has been updated, and also the Explorer watch face has been updated to depict the same changes as the harness watch face. So it's good that those has been updated. And still with Siri, since I didn't make this when I talked about Siri, at one point with watchOS 7.4, it had highlighted that in future we'll be able to make contact changes by just activating Siri. So let's see if that is possible. Can you change my contact tech hyped to Ben?
Sorry, I can't make changes to your contacts.
So as you can see, it still doesn't make changes to contacts, at least for me as well, as far as I'm concerned. But hopefully in future this is something that they can add. And also something that could be coming in future when it comes to watchOS has to do with more sound recognition to the Apple Watch. So it will be able to recognize like laughter, people crying, and then also recognize emergency services like a fire truck, an ambulance, and so on. So those were mentioned, but I see that with this update they are not yet fully here, at least for me in my region. So it's something that you can perhaps check out and see if it's supported in your region or has been updated. And also with Siri, in specific selected regions, I know like in the States, in some provinces or some states, it's actually working. You can actually ask Siri when WWDC is taking place for this year. We know that it's June 7 to 11, but for me, it doesn't seem to be updated. So when is WWDC?
Apple's 2021 Worldwide Developers Conference will be held online starting June 7th. You can't get all the details at apple.com.
So as you can see, it's actually finally been updated. I know like 2 days ago when I did one of my watchOS update, or when I covered some changes to watchOS, it was still telling me 2021, but finally it's been updated and it tells you that WWDC for this year is June 7th, and that's when it kicks off, and that's when we actually expect watchOS 8. So you can ask Siri on the Apple Watch and it will tell you WWDC, or the Worldwide Developers Conference date for 2021, and this works on watchOS 7.4 and also on iOS 14.5. those have been updated with the latest WWDC date, which is something that's great. If you have the cell version of the Apple Watch, you can actually be able to turn on and off the cell connectivity. This is the Wi-Fi model only, or the non-cell version. So if you do have one that is cell enabled, then you can actually be able to make those changes within the control center. I believe before there were issues to that, but now that has actually been fixed with watchOS 7.4. Now, if you use the workout app quite a lot and you use the Apple Watch to track and measure different metrics, so I'll be happy to let you know that finally with watchOS 7.4 and iOS 14.5, we now have support to AirPlay 2 enabled TVs and devices. So in your Apple Watch, you would have to open the activity app and go to Fitness Plus, and you can see that here, if you are actually wanting to stream or AirPlay any specific video that you want here, you can do so, and you'll be able to AirPlay 2 supported devices, and you'll be able to see the metrics on the screen that you are AirPlaying to, which is actually very interesting and important and something good when it comes to fitness. Now, another change also that I have to mention, it was mentioned with watchOS 7.4, and it has to do with many SF symbols that have been updated. So these were automatically incorporated in the accessibility tab, and what these do, they actually give you a better view of fonts and so on. So those have been updated. And also, if we go into the settings and go to accessibility, we have a menu that talks about headphone safety. Let's see if we can find it on the Apple Watch. So this is the menu that we're talking about, and it's basically headphone notifications, whereby to protect your hearing, Apple Watch sends a notification if you've been listening to loud headphone audio for long enough to affect your hearing. So your watch will actually give you haptic feedback and sort of play this sound if you have been listening to loud music or audio from your earphones or headphones for prolonged periods of time. You can make the changes in settings on the Apple Watch in accessibility, or if you want, you can do it on the iPhone and go to the Apple Watch application, and you'll be able to do the same changes within the settings, which is a good thing. It's good to see that they are taking safety to the next level when it comes to utilizing the Apple Watch. Now, another change also that I would like to highlight has to do with new emojis that came to iOS 14.5, and the same emojis also came to watchOS 7.4. So in total, we have about 217 new emojis, and if you do send messages on your Apple Watch, you can actually see the same emojis. This is basically an update that adds support for Unicode 13.1. So the same emojis that you'll be seeing on the iPhone, they are the same that will be on the Apple Watch. And when it comes to macOS, these are also added. So when you send an emoji that has been updated, or a new one like this, on any of your devices, you'll be able to see it, and it will be in a supported format, unlike if it's not supported and you see like an X. So all these have been updated. You can see this needle that sort of used to have some blood dropping has been updated. We have the AirPods Max that have been updated, a burning heart, and so on. So all these are available in watchOS 7.4. So it's good. And also there's a new watch face actually that also has been updated. So if we go to the watch face and go to the photos watch face, the one that you can set up using a photo. So if we select it, I'll show you some other colors that have been added. So this color XIV, that is a new color that has been added to watchOS 7.4, and also this one XV is also a new color, and also this one X2 or XII is a new color. And if you do use this watch face, you can check out these new 3 watch colors or customization that came to this watch face with watchOS 7.4. So it's good, and those have been updated. The podcast app has been updated. If you had an issue whereby your album covers were not showing up, or podcasts of people you're listening to were not showing up, and your library was always blank and you wouldn't be able to see your downloads or latest episodes or even saved, then that has been resolved with watchOS 7.4, and also settings are more prominent and it's better and overall better to use when it comes to watchOS 7.4. So it's good, but that's not all that has been updated. The music app has been updated. So with the Apple Music app, you now get side swipe to add a song in line and also to add an album in line. Now, since I actually use Spotify as my main music app, this is not something I'll be able to show you extensively, but if you had albums that were not showing up, they will actually be able to show up on watchOS 7.4. So it's good that overall the settings have been fixed. If you have music that you want to swipe and queue up, and also continuous listening, whereby an album's end or a single ends, it will continually to play by recommendation or playing tracks from artists that are similar to that which you are listening to. So that is an update of the podcast and music app. And also something else that is now available in more regions has to do with the ECG app. So the ECG app is now available in Australia, and now this has been approved, so you can actually use it and measure your BPM or your beats per minute when it comes to your heart rate, which is a good thing. It's good to see that health is expanding, and if your region isn't supported, then I'm sure with time, as health becomes more of a priority, the ECG app will be supported in more regions. So it's good to see that this is now available. And also, if you use the Stripe Apple Watch face, I will be happy to let you know that we have a new color. So this is the Apple Watch face that we're talking about. If you select it and go to where you can sort of change the stripe color, you can see that we have a new indigo color. So this is new and it's been added to the Stripe watch face. If you use it, then this is something that you will be able to see with watchOS 7.4. And basically, you can further customize it. But yeah, I just wanted to show the new indigo watch color that we have. Now, also another change that came with this update has to do with this new animation that you see when you unlock your Apple Watch using your iPhone. So if you go into your Apple Watch settings and go to where it says passcode, you can actually go to or enable this option that says unlock with iPhone, where you unlock your Apple Watch using your iPhone. So if you have your iPhone and you basically unlock your iPhone, you will see this new animation that will pop up every morning: Apple Watch unlocked by this iPhone. So it only comes once in the morning, so it's something to keep an eye on to if you have the setting enabled, and you'll be able to see this pop up. I did a screen recording at one time because it comes like for a short time, so it's really hard to get. But yeah, just in case you are curious, this is how it looks, and then it disappears. So that's a new animation that you'll be seeing once you update to watchOS 7.4. Now, the last thing that I should probably mention that came with this update, or something that has been changed that I experienced, has to do with hand wash detection. So now with watchOS 7.4, it actually detects the motion of you washing your hand a bit earlier compared to what it was on watchOS 7.3. So now I noticed the detection time, instead of the timer starting at about 14, it starts at about 16. So they've been a little bit of about 2 to 3 seconds. And also sometimes when you're washing plates or doing something else that isn't washing your hand, the timer might come, but now it comes less often compared to watchOS 7.3. So that's a change that I experienced. As an addition, I'm just going to highlight this because it does affect, well, the Apple Watch in a sense, because it gives direction and it has to do with maps. So if you open maps and search for prominent tourist attraction centers or prominent airports, I know in Canada we have a ton of airports, but only a few can be used at the moment. I believe it's about 6. So if you search one of the 6 airports in Canada, you'll be able to see the COVID-19 protocols, and it will say at this airport, passengers are required to wear face coverings and practice physical distancing. So this is something that you can see before you hit the get directions, and basically once you do get the directions, you'll actually be able to feel the haptic feedback on your Apple Watch. But I thought it's something that I should show you, as it sort of affect your journey, as you might need to actually carry a face mask or face covering and practice or follow the protocols that are there. So those are some of the new features and changes that came with watchOS 7.4. If I find any, I'm going to be updating you very soon here on YouTube and on my social media handles. Now, other than that, that's about it for me. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe down below and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Peace.